We're going to have Margot, please.
Morning. Before I start talking about tour, I want to talk a little bit more about my background. I was born and raised in southeast part of China, so I always call myself Chinese when people ask where I'm from. I came to the States around 3 years ago for grad school. I went to Penn to study historical preservation. And during my time there, I became interested in Asian American heritage. I realized that the history and stories of Chinese American or even Asian American in general are pretty much underrepresented in the men's society. And even in our class, we talk about cultural heritage, we talk about social justice. Most of the time, we were talking about African American heritage. We may have talked about like LGBTQ heritage. We didn't even talk about women's history, and that along Chinese American or Asian American heritage. So after I graduated, I joined 1882 Foundation and started working on some projects related to APA heritage. I was really happy to join the tour because it was really a great opportunity for me to go visit those sites and learn more about those stories behind them. So in order to give you a better understanding of the tour we went on, I made this interactive story map. I'm just going to show you some pictures and videos and share some of my experience during the tour. So the tour was back at November 2018. There were 50 of us and we visited 7 sites. Here is a map. It was pretty much a road trip along Interstate 80. The bus took a small group of us from San Francisco and drove to Sacramento. And our first stop was Bloomer Cut in the city of Auburn. Here is a closer map. So our bus parked here and we walked to the track to see the site. And the picture on the left is a historic mark of the Bloomer Cut. In fact, most of the sites we visited has a historic mark. And what surprised me most, in a good way, is that they all recognize Chinese railroad workers' contribution to the railroad. So this is a historic photo of the Bloomer Cut. So it's basically a very narrow passage through a tall, long ridge at Bloomer Ranch. Chinese workers used black powder to penetrate 800 feet across the ridge. It was very dangerous considering how narrow this is. If something exploded, they would not get a chance to run out. But they did it. The trail was finished at 1865, and people were talking about it and referred to it as the eighth wonder of the world. Here's a picture of the site and the now. This is a photo taken when we were there. So our second stop was at Cape Horn Passage. We didn't actually visit the site. I mean, technically you can if you can follow this yellow arrow here. But we sort of stopped at our way and get a very good view of the site. So what is challenging about this site is that Chinese workers had to lay tracks around a steep mountainside. It is said that Chinese workers were lowered by rope down to the level of the planned track and do the work. But it was still a mystery since there is no evidence about that. And here we are, our last stop of day 1 was at Donner Summit. It's the highlight of our day 1. So here's a closer map. From the left to right are Tunnel 6, which is semi-tunnel, Tunnel 7 and 8. We also visited Central Shop, which is at the top of Semi-tunnel, and Summit Camp, and also China Wall. So what is interesting about this site is that Chinese rural workers spend a lot of time here. They started building a tract in 1865. It took about like 2 years or so. And after that, because of those heavy snowstorms, Central Pacific Railroad Company decided to build snow sheds. So they spent another 2 years here. So that is the reason why we can still find evidence of Chinese rural workers living there. The picture on the left shows some artifacts that have been discovered from the site. And this is a historic picture of the Sami camp. We actually visited the site, and nowadays you can still find pieces of artifacts here. Here is our interpreter. She found a piece of porcelain there. And because Sami Tunnel is so long, and they were taking forever to build a railroad, so the Central Pacific decided to open a central shaft on the top of the tunnel. So as you can see from this picture, they could work four directions, which made it a lot faster. And this is a historic picture, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a building here, and the central shaft was inside the building at the time. Here is the picture. This is the central shaft. It's a lot bigger than I imagined. And this photo was taken inside Sami Tunnel. You kind of see it here. There's a hole. And here is a picture from, so we're looking at Tunnel 7 and 8 from, this is Sami Tunnel. And you can kind of see China Wall here. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This is a picture of the Sami Tunnel. It is really huge. And as you can see from both pictures, a lot of graffitis right here. It's kind of a big issue, since the site is currently not preserved, protected. So a lot of graffitis are destroying the site. And here are some pictures of the snow sheds. Extra picture. This picture kind of show how bad the snowstorms were. This is the snow sheds. And China Wall. A lot of our participants said this is their favorite site. So this is actually a stone wall that was built to hold up railroad tracks. This is Tunnel 8. So it has two parts. This is the upper part, sort of lead to the Tunnel 8, and this is the lower part. This was built to fill in the ravine between Tunnel 6 and 8. Here is the historic mark. You can see the China Wall in the background. So I have a little small video here. So imagine all these things were built by hand without motor. It's very, you can hear the wind. It was really windy and it was like freezing. Both my phone and camera died. So we can kind of imagine like how hard for them to like live there for so many years to build the railroad. And so we stayed at Rhino at the end of day 1, and our original plan was to take the train back to Sacramento, but the train kept getting delayed. So we decided to take the bus all the way back, and we got a chance to visit some of those sites we didn't visit the first day, because we were trying to manage some time so that we don't get to Donner Summit too late, since it would be super freezing. Yeah, so we stopped at Emigrant Gap. This is not technically a railroad site, but it was a significant site during Gold Rush. Very safe. Really good view. We also visited Sacred Downfield. So at that time, this is a historic picture, and this is the site now. Chinese rural workers were hired to fill in secret town trestle with dirt since there was some fire issue with the trestle. And just imagine how they built all this from this to that by hand. And our last stop was at California State Railroad Museum. I've been to some railroad museum, but this is the only one that really tells stories of Chinese rural workers. We had a group picture, and this is the famous golden spike, sort of a great ending of our tour. So this is it. I'm really happy to see so many people here, and I really hope that you can contribute to our discussion about like how to preserve all these sites, since they really need to get preserved right now.